Good evening, everyone, and welcome to your weekly program To The Point, where we cover all the different fields and sectors in the state of Kuwait. And also we're going to talk about health, education, tourism, and also a lot of your heart desires that you are going to witness right here on the program. We will shed the light on important points with our distinguished guests. And today in our episode, we will talk about Kuwait and its achievements in arts and culture, and how it will positively present the state of Kuwait and increase the tourism. Let's start with statistics. International indicators for the tourism industry. The tourism sector is the fastest growing economic sectors at the rate of 8%. The tourism sector has a contribution at the rate of 6% of the global total output. The tourism sector provides job vacancies for Kuwait workshops at the rate of 11%, which contributes to the elimination of the unemployment. Tourism sector possesses approximately 9% of the total global investments. GCC tourists and tourism are considered as one of the most spenders when traveling abroad at a rate of $1,500, which is about twice as much of the European tourist spending. Kuwait City has numerous attractions, which include excellent museums, corniche, enumerated with combined and combed really with the fine-tooth comb, beaches and extravagance of restaurants, modern shoppings, complexes and marinas, long and lazy retreats, and new beach resorts, and a lot more. Outside Kuwait City, however, there are only few attractions except at resorts along the coast. Tourist development of the historical Failaka Island is still under process of development. There are a flat deserts and also desert plains that are given over for oil excavation, and there are few distinctive features. First of all, we have a report that is going to show all the good things and the love that you are waiting to see about tourism in the state of Kuwait. Enjoy.
Tourism in Kuwait is a boosting industry where you'd be able to enjoy the country with your loved ones. There are many places to go to and visit. Kuwait has various touristic sites. One of the most popular is Kuwait Towers. Kuwait Towers have distinctive blue-green sequences and are the instantly recognizable symbols of the nation. In addition, Kuwait is well known for its large malls. There you'd be able to find all the different brands to shop from. Not only that, but you can enjoy walking around and eating from numerous restaurants. One of the traditional and old places to shop is Souk Mbarkiya. It's a beautiful place where you'd be able to see old shops with everything you can imagine to buy from. Even the restaurants there have old dishes where you'd experience the old way of living back in the days. One of the great tourist attraction in Kuwait is the beach and the resorts on the beach. During the summer, you would be able to experience the fun water sports, but during the winter, you would be able to enjoy the winter activities such as camping in the desert. Kuwait is a great place to enjoy and make beautiful moments with your family and friends.
First interview with Mr. Badr Ahmed Al-Baijan, President of Friends of Dar, which is Dar Al-Athar Al-Islamiyya. we have a lot of things to cover here, but let me tell you a little bit about the Dar al-Athar al-Islamiyya. It has lots of activities and also an annual cultural season of literature and also music, concerts, forum and workshops, and a lot more to cover. But let's not let me see. I don't want to talk about it. I want the person himself to express his feelings. Sir, thank you so much for being with us here, and also a pleasure to have you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Mr. Abdul, let us tell our audience exactly what we are talking about, Dar al-Athar al-Islamiyya. But first, let's start off the Al-Sabah collection, because it's all about their to collect all the good stuff regarding Islamic culture.
Exactly. Thank you. It started as a hobby by Sheikh Nasser Sabah al-Ahmed Sabah back in the 70s.
Yes.
And it started with a purchase of a small vase. That start is now a collection that is more than 40,000 items. It's called now a Sabah collection, and it belongs to Sheikh Nasser Sabah al-Ahmed Sabah and his wife Sheikh Hassa Sabah Salim Sabah. That collection, it covers in periods from the 8th to the 18th century. Geographically, it covers a period, space from Morocco all the way to China, throughout the whole Islamic world.
That's a big distance.
It is a huge distance, and huge also in time, from the 8th to the 18th century. This collection, more than 40,000 pieces, is actually the largest personal collection in the world. It is more than what is collected by institutions such as the Hermitage in Russia, the V&A in London, the Metropolitan in New York, or the Louvre in Paris. It is the most comprehensive collection in the world, and it's a personal one. Now Sheikh Nasser is going beyond the collection of Islamic pieces. Now he is going into pre-Islamic. So he is now collecting from the Babylonians, the Achaemenians, and the Mesopotamians, the Indians. All of that, or some of it is being shown at the Americani Cultural Center. For your audience, the Americani Cultural Center opens every day from 10 in the morning until 7 p.m. all the way through. Friday from 2 till 7, and we close on Sunday.
That's wonderful.
There is a good reason, sorry to interrupt you, there is a good reason why we close on Sunday.
Why?
Because we are very neighbors to the church, and people in the church come on Sunday, so we don't want to crowd their area and their parking.
That's a wonderful gesture.
So
that's a wonderful gesture. Do everybody know in the world that this organization exists? I know it's not written here according to my questions, but I had to ask this question. Does everybody know about this organization?
I suppose they do.
Do you promote it abroad?
If they look into our Instagrams, if they look into our emails, if they... and talking about overseas, no. That's another question that we will come to it later.
That's wonderful.
And in a little bit more detail, if you allow me.
No, please go right ahead. Sir, objectives and cultural season. What exactly we're talking about here? You must have an agenda for a year to come, and so on and so forth.
These are two different things, actually, the one you're talking about.
Okay.
But when we talk about objectives of Dar al-Athar al-Islam, or the cultural season specifically, Dar al-Athar al-Islamiyya operates on the principles of the 3 E's. Education, enlightenment, and entertainment.
Yes.
The first two, education and enlightenment, we invite the most outstanding scholars in the world from different places, from universities and from the most outstanding museums in the world, and they come in every Monday to give us a lecture.
That's wonderful.
And I say that every Monday I learn something new because of these outstanding lecturers who come to deliver their lectures at Dar al-Athar al-Islamiyya. It is a forum to discuss and debate ideas at Dar al-Athar al-Islamiyya. On the entertainment side, we do have musical evenings that are really not just interesting, but so popular that in fact we have full house every time we have a musical evening. We invite musicians from all over the world. Of course, we emphasize our...
when you have a concert for music, do you have a cover charge or it's free of charge?
No, free of charge. All of our activities, all of our functions are free of charge.
Okay. Sir, I would like to take your permission because we have a report regarding exactly what you're saying, and we'll come back to you after this. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a report, and it's a wonderful one by Osama Al-Balhan. Come back.
معرض العمارة الحديثة في دولة الكويت من عام 1949 إلى 1989 تم افتتاح هذا المعرض في مركز الأمريكان الثقافي بالتعاون مع مؤسسة الكويت للتقدم العلمي ومؤسسة البترول الكويتية. طبعا المعرض هذا يتكلم عن مجموعة من التصاميم المباني للكويت، طبعا من خلال تخطيط مدينة دولة الكويت في منتصف الخمسينيات. طبعا كانت في مبادرة من القطاع الخاص للقطاع الحكومي من خلال استقطاب مجموعة من المصممين العالميين، وهذا انعكس على المباني اللي قاعد نشوفها حاليا من خلال الأبراج، من خلال مجلس الأمة، من خلال متحف الكويت الوطني، من خلال الكثير من المباني التي أصبحت صروح ثقافية تتكلم وتحاكي حاضرنا.
Welcome once again to a brand new program, To The Point, and we are still talking to Mr. Badr Ahmed Al-Baijan. He's the president of the Friends of Al-Dar, Dar Al-Athar Al-Islamiyya. And what exactly we are talking about, we are going to resume what we have started earlier. Sir, let's talk about the cultural programming concerning adults and children. You must have something for these people, don't you?
We do actually, and the cultural season is a very rich season throughout the year, and we start immediately after Ramadan and we carry on all the way until the end of May. Of course, we stop during public holidays, but it's an active program. Every Monday we have a lecture. Every Wednesday we have a musical evening. So it is a full program. Of course, we have other activities on Saturdays and Sundays and Tuesdays, and it's a full program. The lectures are mostly targeting the adults in our audience, and majority of them are in English, although we have lectures in Arabic. And lecturers, as I mentioned earlier, they are from all over the world, and of course they are from our area, the Arabic world, as well as, of course, Kuwait. We have lecturers, scholars from Kuwait give lectures at Dar Al-Athar Al-Islamiyya. But we also emphasize pay close attention to the children. We have very good programs for children that come to Dar Al-Athar Al-Islamiyya, or we try to attract them to come to Dar Al-Athar Al-Islamiyya. We have interactive programs for kids, and we have reading for animals. They read for animals, and it's a progressive kind of a program. And we have gardening. We teach the children how to take care of the environment.
How to grow fruits and vegetables and maybe flowers.
We haven't developed to that yet, but we are into
working on it.
Working on it. Just a simple way of teaching them how to take care of plants and how to protect the environment. We want to introduce the sense of environment and protection of the environment. which is very, very important to bring it up in the children in the beginning so that they have an understanding of its importance. And we have programs also that were started by children. They made up the programs and they run the programs. So it is very, very interesting for children. In fact, the children were uppermost in our programs before the invasion of Iraqis into Kuwait. And we
back in 1990.
Yes. Before that, we used to have booklets for children who come from schools when they come on school programs. And they will go around the museum and they will have pictures of these items or part of the collection. They will visit them and mark them and write something about them when they go back to their classes. So it was a very strong program. Now we're hoping that when we go back to the museum once it's finished, that we will resume our program for children. Children are very, very important when it comes to programs of Dar al-Athar Islamiyya.
For those of you who just joined us, we are still talking to Mr. Badr Ahmed Al-Baijan, and he's a volunteer. He does not work there, but he takes out a lot of his good time and spend it in Dar al-Athar al-Islamiyya to promote al-Athar al-Islamiyya not only locally and also abroad. And we are doing a good job about that, aren't we?
Oh, we are.
Oh, yes. Sir, let's talk about the organizing traveling exhibitions and habits and loaning objectives to other museums, not only in the state of Kuwait, nor in the GCC, probably abroad. How about that?
Very true. This is a very good question.
Thank you, sir.
But it will take more than this time of this.
That's wonderful. I have all the time in the world. Go ahead.
Thank you. No, I will answer your question within the limitation of the time here. Traveling exhibitions of Dar al-Athar Islamiyya actually started in August 1990. That date is embedded in our brains.
Could you be more specific? Is it before the second?
This is the day of the Iraqi invasion of Kuwait. And the exhibit of parts of the collection was actually at the Hermitage at that time was called Leningrad. It's now St. Petersburg in Russia. Sheikh Hassa, Sabah Salim, Sabah was already there. The parts and the exhibits were already there. So we started, even though Kuwait was invaded, went ahead with the exhibit in St. Petersburg, and the exhibit went on until it was finished, and then we traveled with that to the United States. Lucky for us at that time, the ambassador of Kuwait to the United States was Rahmatullah alayhi, Sheikh Saud al-Nasir.
That's correct.
Outstanding individual who actually used these items, a collection, to the advantage of Kuwait. When they toured most of the museums in the United States, showing that Kuwait is actually not just oil, but a protector of culture, and showing the cultural side of Kuwait. So that collection went around at that time. And then we have another group of items collection, from the collection of Sabah collection, is called the Treasury of the World. It's part of the Mughal jewelry. That started in June of 2001 at the British Museum. A few months after that, they moved across the ocean to the Metropolitan in New York. It just so happened
that's a long journey, isn't it?
It is, but they moved immediately after the catastrophe of September 11. And the Metropolitan directors at the time asked Sheikh Nasser, would he still want to continue with the exhibit? But New York at that time was not a safe place.
It wasn't.
So he answered them an answer that is really outstanding. He said, your children, your boys and girls who came to liberate Kuwait are more precious than these items.
Mr. Rajat, I will come back right to you, but I have another report and you are going to love that, and it is by our colleague Maha Ahmed Al-Sayfan.
Good afternoon, my name is Mahal Saifan and now we are at Americani Cultural Center. Before we start, I will give you a brief summary about the history of this place. The Americani Cultural Center used to be an American hospital that was built by the American missionaries in 1913. Of course, the hospital lasted till 1958 and it was closed because it was no longer needed. In 2011, the Americani Cultural Center was opened as a cultural center here in Kuwait. The first exhibition is Splendors from the Ancient East, which is divided into 4 eras. The first era is the Bronze Age, the second era is the Iron Age, the third era is the Hellenism Age, and then the final era is the Late Antiquity. The second exhibition at Americani Cultural Center, which is Long Ago Zoo, which has animals in the El Sabah collection. This exhibition was created by children from 6 to 12 years old from different schools, government, private, and special needs. Our third exhibition, which is called Loans from the Kuwait National Museum. In this exhibition, we will find some antiquity that goes back to the late Hellenistic period. These pieces were found in Failaka Island. Fourth and the final exhibition at Americani Cultural Center. This exhibition is called Story of Americani. On this exhibition, you will find a multimedia story about the history of this place.
Once again, Mr. Al-Baijan, we're still talking about Dar Al-Athar Al-Islamiyya, and you were talking about exhibits in the state of Kuwait and abroad.
Precisely. I was talking about the immediately after the catastrophe of September 11, and I mentioned that
which took place in Manhattan in the United States,
exactly.
New York.
And Sheikh Nasser was saying to them that the pieces are definitely not more precious than your
children,
young men and women who liberated Kuwait. So it went on to become actually one of the most successful exhibits in New York. Our exhibits tour more than 25 countries, and we have toured all over the world, from the United States. That exhibit, the Mughal Jewelry, toured a lot of the museums in the USA, and then across the ocean again to the Royal Palace in Madrid, and then Louvre, and then and then continued to Asia.
That's my favorite place, the Louvre.
Yeah, well, there are many other places. And so we do tour around the world, and that exhibit also included other Arab countries like Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and others. At this time, we are preparing for an exhibit to be currently an exhibit in Toronto at His Highness the Aga Khan Museum. It will be in the summer of 2017. It will be mainly about weapons, and it will be more Mughal jewelry weapons. And these are pieces of art, whether they are swords or of daggers. Absolutely outstanding. We also loan some of our objects to other museums, and so Kuwait is present in most museums.
That's wonderful. Sir, what about Dar Al-Athar Al-Islamiyya has 2 libraries. I believe that one is different than the other, correct or not?
We used to have, but currently we only have 1 library, and this library is now in Yarmouk Cultural Center. And that library has many items that are first editions. Some date to 1515. We have like a Napoleon exploration of Egypt. It's first edition. It's dated 1798. So we have a lot of old periodicals and reference books in many languages, whether in Arabic, in English, Latin, and the audience are more than welcome to come and browse and research, and we'd like them to be used for research. Of course, because they are very precious and very fragile, we cannot loan them out, but we welcome the audience to come in if they are interested in doing research, to come to our library at the El Yarmouk.
Mr. Abaijan, always a pleasure to have you. You promise us to come back again, and we will talk about this more and more.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We will look forward to seeing you again.
Always a pleasure. Also, I'd like to notice that we are still coming to you live on KTV2, and this is a brand new program which is to the point. But right now, we have a small period of a break, and right after that, we have more and more. Stay with us. Once again, we would like to welcome you who just joined us. You are still with us at KTV2 and a brand new program, To The Point. Now we have a report about Kuwait, the capital of Islamic culture. Enjoy.
Kuwait News Agency has issued a book in Arabic, English, and French on the occasion of celebrations of Kuwait as the capital of Islamic culture for 2016. The book sheds light on the role played by Kuwait in highlighting Islamic culture and achievements of civilization. The book includes 5 chapters. The first deals with the deep-rooted relationship between the state of Kuwait and Islam and Islamic values that characterize the Kuwaiti people and the defense they show for the just causes of the Islamic nation. The second chapter sheds light on a number of Kuwaiti cultural institutions and their role in the Kuwaiti society and Muslim communities, while the third chapter touches on a number of Kuwaiti cultural beacons that left a distinct imprint in the Islamic cultural field and of Islamic culture and proper service of the Islamic nation. The fourth chapter is devoted for a vision by Kuwaiti writer Abdulaziz Batain about the rationale for selecting Kuwait to be capital of Islamic culture. The fifth and last chapter deals with the great attention and keenness Kuwait attaches to Islamic culture besides the social, political, and economic factors that led to make the Kuwaiti society for many of the cultural aspects and arts. Minister of Information and Minister of State for Youth Affairs Sheikh Salman Sabah Al-Salim Al-Ahmoud Al-Sabah said in the introduction of the book that selection of Kuwait as capital of Islamic culture was not a mere coincidence or unexpected surprise to followers of culture affairs in the state of Kuwait in general and to those concerned with Islamic culture in particular.
Kuwait is the capital of cultural selection. Kuwait as the capital of Islamic culture this year is a crowning moment for all of its efforts throughout the past years in spreading culture, awareness, and